So last speaker for this session is Malcolm Afonso, and he'll be talking about smart interactive digital maps for village level planning, land management, and governance support.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. I'm Malcolm Afonso, and I'll be sharing with you one of the pilot project that I've done recently. A very dear project to me because it's about empowering my own village for better planning, management, and also governance support. So I will walk you through what I've done and how this is actually going to create impact at my village level. So to give you a little background, I come from Goa, a coastal village, and Goa is known for being a very prominent tourist destination. And what we witness here is that over the recent past, we are seeing a very accelerated rate of growth in Goa, so much so that development is starting to feel like accidental. You know, rapid urbanization is changing the demography, changing the outlook of the village. And so I felt that there is a need to bring in more accountability and also to bring in a transparency where, you know, there is a gap between what is on the paper and what is actually on the ground. So to bridge this gap, I came up with this project. So I will walk you through it now. So what we did here was we carried out a very high resolution mapping of the entire village using drones. So you can see here this is the entire village, about 15 square kilometer, and we have mapped it down to sub-centimeter level. So this data is about 3 centimeter resolution. Now what it allows me to do is, it gives me the current reality of my village, and then we further digitize features from this data. So now I have a record, for example, of all the roads in my village. So I have a record of all the roads in my village by their width. So we have applied buffers to this road to show what is the width of the road as per the plan, that is the official document. Okay, and then we also have a record of all the structures present in the village. So entire structures. If I had to go by a traditional method, this exercise itself would take months and still we would not have very accurate data. But now because of this high resolution data, we have an account of all the structures, each one ID'd. Now to tell you, at the village level, most of these structures are not representing in the official register, which means they are not paying the tax, which means revenue is not coming at the village level. So now at this version 1, we at least know the accurate count of all the structures. Further, in the next phase, we can connect and identify which are actually in the register and which are not in the register. It will improve the tax collection in the village. Now I also mentioned about the roads. Since we have documented the roads and the structures, now we also know the structures which have no road accessibility, which means an ambulance cannot reach these houses. So we know their count and we also know where they are located. In addition, we also have documented the roads which have tar and the roads which do not have tar. And each of these is quantified, which means the village can prepare a very accurate 5-year plan, because planning at the village happens at 5-year interval. So they already know what they need to do for the next year, for the coming year. Typically what happens at the village level is there is no planning culture. As a result, even the funds that are allocated for development are unutilized and sent back, and they face no performance, and then again there is a penalty for non-performance and the fund budget allocated for the next year becomes less. So this is going to help the village administrative bodies to plan for the next 5 years. Okay, so these are the things. Next, apart from whatever we digitized, we also looked at the official documents. So one of which is called the regional plan. Okay, so let me just show you. So this is the regional plan which governs what kind of land use is permitted in different parts. Okay, So for example, the orange color here represents settlement, and this green portion represents agricultural land. And I will show you a bit afterwards where there are discrepancies, okay, between what is on the plan and on the ground, and how this can transform the governance at the village level. So apart from this, there was also another plan which we call cadastral plan, and this plan was prepared in way back in 1972 in Goa, but it documents some of the cultural and heritage stuff in the village. Like for example, these dark lines you can see, these are the traditional drainage systems which were meant to be like for rainwater harvesting and flood mitigation. And these are age-old structures, more than 1,000 years old. They're still there on the ground, but because of lack of awareness and knowledge about what these structures really are, because most of the people now have immigrated in the village, so they are losing their existence on the ground. So we have documented that also, so which I will showcase. So all this analysis happened inside QGIS, and now there was a need because this QGIS is like, an expert can understand, but there is a difficulty when you have to translate this knowledge to the ground level. And that's where we created the interactive village atlas. So this is the interactive map, is live, created using QGIS server, PostGIS and OpenLayers, and serves as a front end which is accessible in the hands of every single villager who is having authorized access to this. So here you can see, so I will show you. So as I mentioned, this document, this interface shows you the current ground reality, okay? And I'll just put on the plan, okay? So I'll just turn the transparency. So as I mentioned earlier, this green portion represents agricultural field on the plan. And when you see on the ground, it represents something else. So this is the mismatch between what is actually on the ground and what is on the plan. And because of this, I said much of the development feels like accidental, and though you can still see my village, there's still much of it green, but it's not so with all the villages in Goa which are rapidly being changed. So they are losing the character and there's no accountability over there. So this is a platform which will help to bring accountability and also measure the development. So, when you can measure only, they say you can manage. So that is what this is intended to do. And with that, I would like to conclude my session. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a very interesting presentation. Any questions?
Great presentation. Are you planning to use like AI or any kind of models to simplify your workflows or something? Do you have something of that plan?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, we did try AI for automatically detecting the building footprints and all, but I was not very happy with the outcome as of now. So one of the things is, all these structures which are registered, they are also taxed based on the area. So we went for manual digitization because this is just about 15 square kilometers. Typically the villages in Goa are like 15 square kilometers to about 25 square kilometers. But I would definitely like to try, if I can get a better output for the building footprints, which we can directly incorporate in the tax system. So that is coming in the phase 2, definitely. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I don't know if this will help, but there's some open source building data sets, whether an overlay might help, even temporal that exists right now. There's the Atlas, I think, also now recently released. One question I had, simple question. The mapping, how long did it take?
Okay. So the mapping of the whole, aerial mapping, it took about 3 days. And that too, we did it in a very comfortable manner, shifting positions and, capturing in parts. So we divided this whole village into 5 parts, captured each part, and just one drone and 4 battery packs, that's it. So in 3 days we did the aerial mapping. And then the digitization part and collating all the data took about 15 days with 4 analysts who worked on this data set. Yeah. And also I forgot to mention one part, so I'll just show you. We did go on the ground as well, and we did some ground truthing. So I mentioned the heritage traditional drainage system. So when we went to the ground, we actually found them, and I would just like to show you. Okay, just a bit of issue. So these points represent the place where we actually found the drainage system. So we found like it was existing at places. It was choked because some people build a pathway on top, and they just choked that drainage system. And each is geotagged. Each of that location is geotagged with photograph. So yeah.
Thank you. Interesting.
One comment to improve your building footprint extraction from this imagery. So you can use a GeoAI plugin in Quantum GIS, for on which the inaugural session of this conference was also there. So with that, you will be able to extract automatically all the building footprints, and that way you will execute your work in a faster manner. This is the comment.
Yes, absolutely. I think since we launched this, we have gotten interest from neighboring villages. So we are going to definitely need it, and we are going to incorporate it.
You may evaluate.
Yes.
Any more questions?
Hi, thank you so much for this amazing talk. I just wanted to ask, because you mentioned land use maps and also cadastral maps as part of this work that you have done, have you thought about digitizing them, like vectorizing those road networks or building footprints from those cadastral map as well, so that there could be some sort of special temporal analysis, right? Like the one, at least I've shown on like which are the different road or something like that. Have you thoughts about doing that in your use case, or does that make sense for you? I just wanted to quickly ask.
Yes, absolutely, and that's a very good question. So what we have done is we have checked the official plan, that is regional plan. We found that the roads that are there are far less, at about 40% only are reflecting in the plan, but on the ground they are much more. So that was one big difference. Second, we also classified the roads as Kacha road and Pakka road. So, roads which do not have tar and road which have tar. Now that is what we are going to present to the Panchayat, which is a local governing body, that these are the roads which can take for tarring in the next round, rather than simply tarring the old roads again and again, So that is one thing we are doing. And the building footprints we have manually digitized, like, so they are actually digitized from the data itself. Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay. Yeah. So we will conclude the presentation and session. Thank you so much for the presentation.
Thank you.